This is the Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels, former TNA X Division champion and former TNA World Tag Team champion, and you are listening to the TNA Cross the Line podcast. Enjoy.
TNA Wrestling, Cross the Line.
And we're back with episode 273 of the TNA Cross the Line podcast. I am Colling Jr. With me, as always, is Dallas Gridley. In Dallas, we are entering a new year of TNA wrestling. It's 2007. 2006 was quite a remarkable year, and we ended 2006 on quite a remarkable note. And that remarkable note is that Kurt Angle, who didn't want a rematch, but then gave Joe a rematch. And Joe said no rematches. So Kurt, well, he snapped in more ways than one. He snapped mentally, but then physically, he snapped who we are presuming to be Samoa Joe's girlfriend's ankle. And guess what, Alice? He broke the ankle after Joe said, okay, you've got it.
Mm-hmm. That's a bad man. Very
bad man. That is probably worse than when Rikishi ran down Stone Cold Steve Austin in the parking lot at Survivor Series in 1999.
There you go.
More traumatizing, for sure. So, as a result, as we head to a final resolution, which is going to be taking place on a date that I don't have popped up. Hang on a minute. January 14th.
I knew that.
January 14th will, and again, I'm technically assuming, I don't think it's been officially announced. They just agreed to a rematch, but let's face facts. It's probably going to be that final resolution in a matter of 10 days.
Yeah, it's coming up on us quick. We only have 2 episodes of Impact before the first pay-per-view 2007. And I think once we kind of get to that show and beyond, I am curious to see how things are going to change direction for us. Because technically the episodes we're watching today and next week were taped with the last episode. So it's kind of like, let's wrap up this stuff and we can start the new year hopefully a little fresh and see how that'll turn out for us.
Right. Yeah. So technically the footage that we see now, next 2 weeks, are from last year.
Lame, but that's how the taping schedule works. Hey, you know what? They got to enjoy time with their families for the holidays. So you know what? I think that's great.
Yeah, that is true. That's the benefit of the schedule, I guess.
That's right. Before we get into our news and notes and our episode, we will be doing a different version of a year in review than we normally do. We'll still cover all the things you want to hear about. Don't worry, I have all of our debuts, all of our stipulations and everything all listed out, and I can't wait to run through those at the end. That's always my favorite. Man. But
so wrestling debuts, I'm going to say that there's at least 30.
I'll have to count. I didn't think I actually counted. I just wrote them down, but I will let you know. Usually we have our own set of categories that kind of coincides with the Wrestling Observer Awards, but it's slightly different. So this year we've decided we're going to kind of go through the Wrestling Observer Awards as if it was only applicable in our world in TNA, and then we will let you guys know where TNA stars or people fell on the list of the actual awards. So I think it'll be a fun way to kind of tie it together. And, of course, we'll talk about some of our favorite moments and stuff like that, as we always do. And actually, really, at the end of our last episode, they kind of gave us a really nice video at the end that went month by month that really showed the year. And so we kind of talked a lot about a lot of that stuff already as we were watching it. But I think it'll be fun to kind of go through it like this.
Well, what's always been funny, and I even will see it on YouTube now, like somebody will highlight a wrestler's career, right? And that they've wrestled for 15 years. And they can sum up their whole career in like 25 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible to me. So like in that music video, which was like 2 minutes long, it literally summed up everything that we watched in 2.5 minutes, maybe.
It's wild.
Yeah. Here we are spending a year watching it. We could just watch a music video at the end of the year, like, oh shit, okay, that was fun.
I'm gonna actually queue it up and get it ready for once we kind of do it. Maybe I'll do a quick talk through as again at once we kind of get to that point. That might be kind of fun. So I'm gonna queue it up. Yeah, actually, so before we get into this though, why don't we just mention the match card from our last episode, and then we will do our year in review. We have a few notes that we'll kind of cover, and then we'll get into the first episode of 2007. Should be good. So on the December 28th, 2006 episode of Impact, which was episode 131, in case you're keeping track, we saw Chris Sabin and James Storm team up to defeat P.D. Williams and Christopher Daniels. There's actually no match times listed here in Cage Match, so just assume it was probably under 4 minutes, because that's kind of where we've been at with these match cards. We saw Robert Roode with Miss Brooks defeat Lance Hoyt. And then, you know what? We always love a good pole match to end the year. We had a non-titled nightstick on a pole 3-way match where Sting defeated Abyss and Christian Cage after he climbed up. He grabbed the nightstick and then he walked down, and we were like, wait, he didn't win? And then he hit Christian in the gut and the bell rang. It was quite an interesting match, and that was essentially to kind of help set up their match at Final Resolution, but like in a very weird way. I don't know. Weird segment, or weird match, I guess. It was barely a match, but
yeah, that was the amount of time, the amount of instances that a poll has been introduced.
Mm-hmm.
And a guy like Vince Russo, who's always said like, oh, I wasn't obsessed with polls or whatever. I mean, off the top of my head already, we have that one. And then we have the one where it was like wasn't with Cage and Rhino? There was a weapon for the cage, like the barbed wire cage match.
Yes, it was a pole match.
Like there's already 2 instances in a matter of maybe a month and a half.
He loves poles.
There's something up with polls.
Loves. I don't know. It's quite interesting because generally they're not very good. So I don't know why that's the match he goes to. I'd be less mad if it was like, oh, we're seeing constant street fights, but they're like they use a chair. Like, okay, that's lame, but at least they don't have to climb up and try to grab something. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But what do I know? I was trying to quickly read through the TV notes that was listed in case there's anything else major that we missed. Apparently, Ron Killings was talking about his quitting smoking as his New Year resolution in a backstage interview. I honestly don't remember that, but it definitely happened. Team 3D did a promo while Runt was still wearing his Santa Claus costume from the week before. Runt ended up spitting alcohol in Brother Ray's face, and they kind of beat him up a little bit to kind of give him some tough love. There's a little LAX brawl in that situation. The Paparazzi Championship Series has continued with the backstage segments with Nash and the X Division stars. They kind of teased that Ms. Brooks and Eric Young kind of snuck into the bathroom as she's trying to do anything she can to get him to sign with Robert Roode Inc. Some wild stuff, dude. We just really did it all to end 2006.
Now with the Tracy Brooks thing, that the reasoning behind this is because Robert Roode feels like if they can get Eric Young, it will make him more popular.
Yeah.
Okay. That's like the general idea, which I think is just, it's silly because, I mean, obviously Roode is a heel and he's delusional, but, you know, maybe if you were like nicer, you'd be more popular.
That's right. Maybe if you weren't yelling at her all the time and mean.
Right. And they're just like beating up nice people like Eric Young.
Yeah, he's such a great guy. Actually, I also have the ratings breakdown. We might as well just say this, and then we can truly put this in the behind us here. The December 28th TNA show drew a 0.94 rating and 1.1 million viewers. The show did a 0.85 in males 18 to 34 and a 0.65 in 35 to 49. The number is down from recent weeks, but the good news is it showed growth throughout the show. It opened at a .86. The 3D angle where they attacked Runt and LAX ran in gained 35,000 viewers. Roode versus Hoyt in Sting versus Abyss versus Christian gained 59,000 viewers. In the final segment of the show with Joe Angle interview where Angle put the ankle lock on his female companion gained 103 viewers and peaked at a 1.06. And then it looks like, oh no, this is the replay, sorry, from the week before. The December 23rd one did a .63 rating, 719,000 viewers. He said, interestingly, the show fared poorly among target 18 to 34 males with a .29 rating. So that was the replay of the show before that, I guess. But do you like
Is
that?
there a reason why they couldn't just say girlfriend?
I guess maybe we don't know. Female companion.
Female companion. That's an interesting.
They're
Do they
just
not
friends.
do they not want like Joe to be a desirable man?
It could be that, maybe. Do you think that it was actually like his girlfriend, or did they just get a really bad girl actor to like do it?
I don't think that was his girlfriend for real. There's no way.
Fair enough.
I would be stunned.
Me too.
That was his real girlfriend.
Me too.
I'm surprised that Meltzer wouldn't have a note on that already.
You know, that's a great point.
Do we remember what her name was?
I don't know if they said it.
Okay.
Oh, like here we go. Angle then dragged a woman that was with Joe to the ramp. This was crazy as she was never identified. We were led to believe she was Joe's girlfriend, but she looked like an actress. So even he doesn't quite know.
Okay, because it says that on his Wikipedia that he married his wife Jessica in 2007.
So it could have been.
It could have been his real life fiance.
Whoa.
Potentially.
That's okay.
Do you think if I type in Samoa Joe's wife that there'll be a picture?
There might be.
It's definitely not her.
Oh.
I don't think there's no way. That looks nothing like the girl. Right? I don't know.
I'm Googling it now. Hold on. Samoa Joe's wife.
I don't think that's
dude, I don't know. Now she's definitely got different hair color.
Right. But I'm even saying like facial feature wise, I don't think that was her.
Hold on. I actually have that part up right here because it was like right before the music video. Dude, it's so hard to tell. They don't focus on her super well.
There's a good picture of it's not her, dude.
No,
There's
I'm gonna say no.
way.
Yeah, I'm saying no. Damn, I really like the idea that it was, but I understand. I like when you type this in. There also happens to be pictures of like him with CM Punk and Jerry Lynn, and Triple H.
Right.
It's like that's not his wife.
I was gonna make a joke like that. I was trying to think of somebody that's like always beat him or something. All right, but here's another question for you. So so obviously Samoa Joe has been a dominant force on our TV shows. He's always angry, whatever. For the most part, he's usually pretty angry. Do you think introducing a significant other potentially lessens his aura?
That's like one of those fine line things, right? I feel like it could. It shows that he has compassion.
It shows that he has like emotional feeling.
Right.
I don't know if I like that.
Yeah, it's tough for the way he's presented. I do think they probably did it for the sake of like getting the fans behind him more and like feel bad for him. Because like we were like teasing the idea like, oh, Samoa Joe's a babyface now and Angle's kind of going to be a heel. But now like the past couple episodes, it's like, oh no, Kurt Angle's a heel. He's like attacking people backstage and now putting girls in ankle locks, and he was stepping on SoCal Vale's hair in the ring demanding a rematch, and like he's doing like bad stuff. And I think this is just another way to make you feel bad for one, Samoa Joe in general in the story, but also he had the injury. We saw. I mean, he was on crutches on our last episode, and they did the segment where they show her first, where they're at his house, and he's like getting helped and like stuff like that. So we're already kind of taking away some of the aura, I think, when you're showing Samoa Joe limping downstairs and with crutches.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, but they also paired him with his female companion. So,
Well, and I think another thing that we probably have to consider is that Vince Russo's mindset has usually been that there are no true baby faces and heels. It's
That's
more
fair.
so they're situational. So 1 week a guy could be, or even segment by segment, it could change. One segment a guy could be a heel, and the next one be a baby face. 1 week he's a heel, the next week he's a baby face. He doesn't really he thinks that everybody has that gray area, or that they shouldn't be just, oh, he's a good guy, so he'll do good guy things. You should be a good guy who has heel tendencies and can do things that, a bad guy would do, which I understand. I totally get that. And you can make the argument that could make some better television because you're not restricting each character to a certain role. But when you do that with every single character, then it minimizes the impact of what you're trying to do.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, but I get, from a writing standpoint, I can see the desire to want to do that because it opens up a lot of different avenues for you.
Right.
Just got to pick and choose who and when to do that instead of being like, oh, you know what? This benefits me right now. He's a heel this match. And the next week we'll just ignore it and he'll be back to being a bayface. Like,
right. Yes, it's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're pretty much set here that we can dive into our year in review, kind of go over the Wrestling Observer newsletter awards, which if you do want to happen to, if you want to read along, you happen to have a subscription, it's in the January 22nd, 2007 edition. So it's actually quite deep into the first part of the year, really. But these are voted on, I believe. I think people just send in votes, right, Bob? Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that like if you're a subscriber, I think they kind of help vote on these.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, because like the Hall of Fame, I think is specific people. I don't think that's like a public thing. When he does like the Observer Hall of Fame stuff, because I've seen people on Twitter be like, "Oh, I have like an Observer Hall of Fame ballot." I don't think that's just out to subscribers, because Lord knows who would go in if like everybody was.
Well, that's fair.
Was doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's definitely for subscribers. They like email them, I think, or something.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so the first award is the Lou Thesz Ric Flair Award, which is technically the overall performer of the year. So if we were to decide, if we're just talking strictly TNA, Bob, who are we thinking is potentially the performer of the year? I guess this would be like your best wrestler category.
I mean, Joe's up there, obviously.
I was gonna say Samoa Joe. I was even just clicking through some earlier pay-per-view cards just to like kind of get refresher and stuff. I mean, he's constantly in like title matches, big time matches and stuff like that, like doing solid stuff. And then of course we saw how his year has ended.
Right.
I mean, that's an easy pick to me.
AJ and Daniels, when they were like a tag team, was really good.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then now AJ's kind of split, and he's kind of like taking on this new like heel side of him character, and I think it's kind of interesting.
I grew up poor. I was in a trailer. You don't know me, Mike. Mike, you don't know me.
I think we need to do more with that, but that's a whole different conversation. Yeah, I mean, I think to me, this is an easy Samoa Joe vote personally. Just thinking about his year, he's literally was undefeated the entire year until Genesis.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an easy one, I feel like. But so as far as where any TNA people fall on the actual vote, Samoa Joe is the only one who is listed, and he comes in at the number 5 spot.
Okay, so there's probably at least 2 Japanese wrestlers that are on there ahead of him.
Not ahead of him, and actually
the rest of them are WWE. Well, Danielson's probably ahead of him.
No, so I'll tell you who's above.
Yeah, go ahead. Just
Number 1. Actually, I'm gonna go number 4. We'll go from right above him. So it's Joe's 5. Bryan Danielson is 4.
okay.
3 is Tito Ortiz. Because, and this
Performer. I gotcha.
They do. I took out the whole thing where it's like shoot, fight, and like shoot, because it's like
Okay.
they include that stuff.
Okay. So they're including like the persona and all that shit.
Yes, I think so too.
Okay.
Above Tito Ortiz is Edge, and then in the number 1 spot is Mystico.
I would never have guessed that. That's out of my.
Yeah, there's actually the only Japanese people I'm seeing are in the honorable mention section. It's pretty interesting. Although he kind of it's weird because he notes like this is the category A awards, and the winners are determined on a point on a 5-3-2 basis. So it's like weird the way he like handles it. I don't really understand it personally, but because like technically the way it's listed, it kind of looks like Kenta has the most votes, but he's in the honorable mention section.
Huh.
I don't know if that's because did he not get enough that maybe people gave him a list and he wasn't in the first place spot enough. I don't know. It's kind of confusing to me personally, but so the next category is actually like kind of similar. I feel like it's the most outstanding wrestler.
So that would sound like it's just in ring.
Yeah, so I would say this is more in ring. This does not include shoot fighters. This is who's the best.
Okay, so I really don't want our list to just be constantly Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe, but
Samoa Joe, AJ.
Well, so I want to rewind a little bit. Even I think as far as performer, you could definitely people like AJ can fit into that. I'd even argue Christian Cage could fall into that category in TNA.
Christian Cage for sure.
Because you think about early in their year, babyface Christian Cage, he has that feud with Abyss, which I think gets him a lot of sympathy as a babyface. He gets drowned in his home. And then he switches. He's a fantastic heel. And I think even though he's been kind of like in this weird storyline, I think I still look forward to when Christian comes out and has a microphone in his hand. So I think Christian Cage has done very well in our time. I think Styles still applies very well for some of the work he's been doing. So now as far as wrestler, like you said, Samoa Joe. I mean, I feel like you can't not say Kurt Angle, because even though he's only been here there 2 months, but I mean, the 2 matches he had were 2 of the best matches we saw throughout the year.
Yeah, and I mean they're incorporating the whole year anyway, so they're going to be considering his WWE work. So
right.
He would definitely be on there, or should be on there.
Should be.
Yeah. I don't outstand. So if I'm thinking of outstanding in ring, Joe, AJ. I don't know what Senshi.
Yeah, you could say him. You could say him. I was almost even going to consider saying Christopher Daniels. I feel like he's had a really good year as well. Between the tag stuff, he's X Division champion. He's had some really good pay-per-view matches. So I think you could argue Daniels could be in there. Yeah, I feel pretty good about that. I mean, those people. Even like I said, I'm sitting here clicking through cards, or specifically pay-per-views, as we're talking, and these are the people that stand out for sure.
Right.
Larry Zbyszko? No, I'm kidding. Okay, so as far as the list that the Wrestling Observer says, TNA people, we have a few that fall on the list. In the number 8 spot is Kurt Angle. Now, as Bob noted, it probably includes mostly his WWE run at this point, but regardless. In the number 7 spot, AJ Styles. And in the number 3 spot is Samoa Joe. And I'll just tell you who's above Samoa Joe at this point. We don't need to go through the whole list, but and the number 2 spot is Kenta, and the number 1 spot is Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
So, and there's some good people in that list, but there's stuff like, see, I don't think any TNA categories fall in this, so I think we're going to skip over this one. The best box office draw. It's kind of, I feel like we're kind of in the same deal here. Like it's kind of the same idea.
Well,
So,
I mean, so box office, I mean, you can incorporate buy rates, and I think if you say buy rates, I mean Sting
well,
for
then yeah,
TNA.
it's got to be Sting because he drew the biggest house at Final Resolution in January. Not
Right.
house, but pay-per-view buys.
Right. So for
Um,
TNA, their box office is absolutely Sting.
It's Sting. And even if you look at Bound for Glory, who they did sell tickets, and he was in the main event and won the title,
Yeah,
I still think it's Sting.
it's absolutely
So,
Sting.
but there is no listed TNA stars on the actual awards. Okay, this is a good one. The feud of the year. Now we've seen a lot of good feuds this year. Obviously, we ended with Joe and Angle, but we've seen LAX, AMW, LAX Styles and Daniels, Chris Sabin, Kevin Nash, Jeff Jarrett, Sting, which I feel like lasted 7 months. Even Daniels and Senshi had like a fairly long one. Raven, Larry Zbyszko happened. Abyss and
Cage and
Christian
Rhino.
Cage and Rhino. There was a lot. The Naturals and Team 3D. All sorts of stuff.
But what was the best one for TNA?
I remember. I mean, I feel like you almost have to like kind of go toward the Jarrett Sting one just because of how it built toward Bound for Glory, and I feel like even though it seemed like the readers and the Wrestling Observer didn't necessarily agree, I think watching it with context, I think that the match paid off pretty well. I remember when LAX made their debut, or not necessarily their debut, but like the attack on Daniels and Styles, they bloodied them all up, and it was like, holy crap, strap these guys up.
Right. No, that was like instant. Yeah.
And they had
See,
some
what
really
was
good
good about
matches.
that was when they kind of like re-debuted, because they were definitely involved, or Homicide and Machete at least were involved when Bullet Bob was doing stuff for Lockdown, right?
Wow, I forgot Bill Bob was around.
So then they like kept him off TV, but they do like Explosion or something, but they kept him off of the Impacts. They come back with Homicide and I think still Machete, and eventually Hernandez came in. And then as soon as Hernandez got involved, it was like, oh shit, these guys are next level.
It was a game changer.
Yeah. So for me, I mean, I don't. So Sting and Jarrett is, you know, is it the best feud or is it the feud that made the
Well,
most?
that's fair.
It's kind of two different things. Maybe that might sound confusing, but you know, did we get excited for the Bound for Glory thing because of the feud, or is it because it's Sting Jarrett, and we knew that Sting was going to win the title?
It was probably more that.
Yeah, so I don't know, like if it's really
That's fair.
the feud or angle.
That's a really good point.
I'm thinking definitely AJ and Daniels against LAX. I mean, that was several months of just really good progression and matches for that matter.
Yeah, and the really good matches. Oh, we
Yeah.
also forgot like Steiner and Samoa Joe. That's a big one for a little bit. I mean, my gut also agrees with you. Like LAX, Styles, and Daniels, because the matches held up, the story was good. If Christian and Abyss had better matches with their feud, I think that would have won it for me. Because the segments and like the way they did it, I think was really, really well done. But the matches like just did not hold up. Which is unfortunate, but
No, you're right about that. I would also throw a Cage Rhino in there.
I think so too. I think that's if there's an underrated feud of the year, I mean that's easily it because I did not expect it to be anything worthwhile, and I think it was really well done, and I think they had good matches.
Yeah. Yeah.
As far as where we fall in the awards, LAX and Styles and Daniels is the only one that makes its spot for TNA, and it's in the 4th place spot.
That's not bad.
So, no, above it is John Cena and Edge, Ring of Honor versus CZW, and Tito Ortiz versus Ken Shamrock.
Yeah, no, all those make sense.
Yeah. So to make it in fourth place for that, I think that's pretty solid.
That's pretty good. I mean, those the three above them are like, yep, that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay,
That's pretty good.
Next up, we got the tag team of the year. We've already talked a lot about LAX, about Styles and Daniels. You have teams like AMW who have constantly been a great team in TNA. The Naturals, both teams now gone. It's really sad. You even have teams like Sanjay Dutt, Jay Lethal.
Yeah. VKM, can't forget about them.
VK. Oh, I wish I could. Team 3D.
Team 3D.
I think for me.
Serotonin.
Serotonin, that's right.
Diamonds in the Rough.
Yeah, they were around still this year. That's right. For me, this is an easy one. Honestly, I think it's LAX. I mean,
5150, baby. Let's go.
I mean, come on. We've already mentioned it. They're reinventing themselves, coming back with Hernandez. With them, they have completely changed it. Conan kills it when he grabs that microphone. To me, this is like an easy Homicide Hernandez situation.
I think that if AJ and Daniels maintained, not like split off again or whatever, then I think that they would have been an easy discussion. But LAX is absolutely the best team.
Yeah.
There's no. I don't think there's any way to debate it.
Yeah, I think so too. We have a couple spots here, including an honorable mention. So, AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels are in the third place spot. This is like a kind of cop out, but I'm mentioning it because they both wrestled here this year. Austin Aries and Roderick Strong were in the second place spot.
Right now, the context for that is that the referencing. That's a Ring of Honor.
It's a Ring of Honor thing, but both guys wrestled here, and Austin Stars technically here currently. So,
and but in our universe, we never would even consider that for TNA sake. Obviously.
Exactly. And then the number one spot we get with Homicide and Hernandez. LAX wins the tag team of the year.
Oh, they won.
They won.
They're number one.
Yep.
Oh, I thought when you started at 3 that was going to go down and like they're going to be like, 8.
I was going up.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's the top 3 tag teams?
Yeah.
Holy shit, man.
That's crazy. And an honorable mention, AMW falls into that category. And if we're technically looking at the votes that he has listed, which I'm not, like, it's so confusing, but technically they have more votes, it looks like, than Styles and Daniels. So technically they kind of could fall a little bit higher, but.
So what's the voting? I'm assuming there's a number in parentheses or something?
There is a number in parentheses next to it. And he basically says, what does he write it? First place votes in parentheses, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because everyone has parentheses.
Yeah. So the issue, so like if AMW has a higher first place voting, but they're like not even on the list, and then somebody has lesser, it's because people are keeping them off the ballot, and it outweighs the first place.
That's what I think. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's what happens. So I could have 50 first place votes. You could have 20, but if like 100 people leave me off their list, I'm going to be knocked down if he's weighing it in that way by pointage.
Right. Very interesting. And if you're curious, in 2005, AMW actually was the tag team of the year. So,
as they should have been. 2005 was a very good year for them.
That's right. Okay, the next category, most improved. I think this is like one of those kind of a tough one. Just kind of see where someone started. You have like younger guys like Alex Shelley, who I think really started to take control of this like paparazzi character a little bit more instead of just being like a guy. You can look at people who we didn't really see before, like Hernandez, who kind of
Hernandez is absolutely on there. I mean, that's just me from seeing, because he did Ring of Honor stuff very briefly, like a few years ago. Wait, so most improved. I mean, is there most underrated?
Yes, I think there is.
Okay. He'd be a good underrated one too.
There's most over and underrated. We'll get there.
I kind of figured that, yeah. Most improved. Lethal.
Yeah, I was thinking mentioning him as well. Yeah, this is like a tough one. I feel like I think those are some solid ones. I don't know if I have there's anyone who I'm like, wow, I hated them in the beginning of the year. Now I really like them. So it's like one of those weird things. Well, as far as we fall on the list here, we have a couple of honorable mentions, but also our boy Hernandez comes in at the number 8 spot on the list.
For most improved.
For most improved. So Hernandez does fall on the list.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
That he would get that recognition and only being he wasn't even in the company for more than half a year.
Right. As far as
too far.
Right. As far as honorable mentions, Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley both fall into that category. So.
See, I don't know. I don't know if Sabin would identify as most improved at this point.
That's
pretty
what I think
good.
too. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I don't know about Sabin. That seems like a wasted vote.
Yeah, I think so too. We got the best on interviews category next, which is kind of a weird one too for me. I mean, we can talk quick about the people who are good at talking, right? You got people like Christian Cage. You have Conan.
Conan is absolutely up there for TNA. Nash.
Nash is a lot of fun. I like his interviews a lot. I really like when Chris Harris does the interviews backstage for AMW.
I
think he cut some good ones. I don't think Styles is really that bad, especially when he showed his anger in the one with Tanae. I didn't hate that. I thought it was pretty well done.
Well, the acting part was not.
See, I feel like that one wasn't too bad.
No.
I wouldn't
consider
one.
Maybe
best.
the second one he did wasn't bad. No, he's not. But there was definitely one. I think they did it more than one. I think they did it more than once or something. I hope they did because one of them was not good from an acting standpoint. The context is okay. I can understand where this guy's coming from, but the acting was not. It just came across very much forced. Who else? I don't even know who else is a good talker.
People really like Jim Cornette, but for me, that's just...
no, dude. I could live without Jim Cornette talking.
Me too.
Especially when it's 10 minutes on a 40-minute show. That is a bit much.
Yeah.
What about? I mean, Samoa Joe is a good talker.
Yeah, he's not bad. I think he's definitely gotten better at it too. Yeah, I think those are that's some good stuff. As far as kind of where we fall on the real list here, Christian comes in at the number 9 spot. Jim Cornette is at the number 5 spot, and the number 3 spot is Conan. So he kind of is up there, and the only people above Conan is Edge in the number 2 spot and Mick Foley in the number 1 spot.
Okay.
And then Kurt Angle does get an honorable mention.
Okay, I think I can live with that.
The next category...
The Cornette ranking might also be because of his Ring of Honor stuff, too.
Definitely because of his Ring of Honor stuff, too. Definitely. Yeah. The next category, we actually don't really fall into it, so we may kind of just glance over this one. I don't know if it kind of falls in the same idea, I feel like, as best interviews, but it's the most charismatic. We only have honorable mentions. So I feel like it's kind of the same idea. Like, if you're not charismatic, you're probably not going to be great at interviews necessarily.
Yeah, but that also translates in your in-ring stuff.
Right. So I'll just tell you, the honorable mentions are Samoa Joe and Homicide. They're the only TNA stars to make an appearance on that part.
What? Really? Not Eric Young?
No, that's a good one, though. That's a really good one.
Wow. Monty Brown?
Nope, another good one, though.
Wow.
That is another really good one, dude. Yeah, no,
Wow.
we didn't really
That's amazing.
we did not really make it on that list too well.
See, I don't know if I would put Samoa Joe even on honorable mention because I don't really consider him charismatic.
I agree.
He's just angry.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't. That's like a weird one to me. The next kid,
So their reasoning is that if he shows anger all the time, that makes him charismatic.
he's charismatic. Yeah, yeah, that's how it goes.
I don't know about that. It's weird.
Okay, the next two categories are more about in ring again. Or actually, the next three. So first up is the best technical wrestler.
Okay. So Kurt
Angle.
Yeah, that would be.
I mean,
pretty obvious.
I don't know.
When I think technical, I'm thinking grappling.
Right, I'm trying to like think of who else even can fall into this category for us.
I mean, Shelley does a lot of grappling.
Shelley does, yeah. I wanted to say like Daniels, but I don't know if he really truly is like considered a technical wrestler at this point, is he? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know if he does. It's a tough one. Well, I'll tell you right now. We have a few spots on this list. But even if I said them, like I feel like I can barely defend it as far as TNA goes.
Okay.
So
I'm interested to know.
Let's just hear. Okay, so number 10. I don't know if I believe that this person is a technical wrestler, but Samoa Joe is in the 10th spot. Would we consider him when you hear the next category,
brawler.
It makes a lot more. That's the next category. It makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, Samoa Joe's a brawler.
Right.
He's like slapping the shit out of you. He's not putting you in a hammerlock.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
The number 8 spot, even though it may not be technically for our company, he wrestled here this year. Roderick Strong. It's definitely not for his TNA work, but
no.
Hey, he wrestled here. I got to mention it. And I looked. He wrestled more than one match. I made sure before I included his name.
Oh, okay. He did. All right.
He does. He is a bunch. And then in the number 5 spot is Kurt Angle. And if you're curious of, hey, who falls above Kurt Angle, it goes Nigel McGuinness, Kenta, Chris Benoit, and Bryan Danielson. So the top is quite stacked.
That will definitely do it.
Yeah. And yes, as I mentioned, the next category is the best brawler, which you could look at people like Samoa Joe, like Senshi.
Yeah.
I mean, Abyss.
Rhino.
We have a lot of brawlers. I would even Monty Brown.
Yeah.
So I think these kind of guys fall into this category a lot easier. We have quite a bit in the brawler category. Jeff Jarrett, definitely. I mean, I think you could throw Homicide and Hernandez here too.
Sure, absolutely.
We also take up a few spots on this. By the way, the best brawler is also the Bruiser Brody Memorial Award. So it actually has 2 names. In the number 7 spot is Rhino. Number 6 is Abyss. And that's right. We take the number 1 spot with Samoa Joe.
Mm-hmm.
So Joe, actually, this is the second year in a row he won. And he took 2nd place in 2004. So he's been quite high up on the list.
Yeah, no, as he should. He's he's the definition of a brawler.
That's right. And then this is another wrestling kind of style category, the best flying wrestler. We have quite a few of those. We've obviously AJ Styles.
Flyer.
I mean, it's the X Division.
I mean, literally.
It's Sanjay Dutt.
Not Petey. Petey's not really a flyer.
That's a good point. But like Sanjay Dutt.
Sanjay Dutt is absolutely one.
I feel like Daniels
Shelley's not really
kind
a
of
flyer.
pretend. You could kind of dip Daniels into this because he does do a lot of rope moves.
Well, he does like the best moonsault ever.
And the split leg moonsault.
Yeah, but when I'm thinking of a flyer, I'm thinking like, oh, I'm doing a springboard fucking 450 to the floor.
Oh, right. Then we should
like
be
that.
putting Austin Starr here. He does the 450.
Yeah. I think he would be considered a high flyer. He's a good mixture of high flying.
He is. He's very good. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. I mean, AJ's got to be up there.
Yeah, so this is a little bit of an easier one too, as far as kind of us, because we don't take a lot of spots again. There's actually a lot of good people in this list too, but AJ Styles does come in the second place spot with only Mystico above him, so that's pretty solid. In the honorable mentions, Sanjay Dutt makes it into there. So those are the only noted TNA stars.
Well, okay. I mean, I guess. I mean, when you really think about it, there aren't really that many like crazy divers.
That's what I mean. That's the
TNA.
tough part, right? We can talk about these next one kind of together, right? We have the most overrated and the most underrated. Most overrated, you got people like Jeff Jarrett. Because he's top dog, but he's Jeff Jarrett. I'm
gonna say one that you might think is a little hasty.
Okay.
And I'm only saying this because of the way that he's been presented. And I don't think he's anywhere near that level at this point. I'm going to say Robert Roode.
I think that's fair.
As overrated.
It's fair. They built him like he was about to win the title, and then he did. Yeah, I agree with Robert Roode.
That's what I'm saying.
In our world,
yeah.
In our world, that might honestly be like number one. I hate to say it. You could look at stuff like Abyss. He's the champion right now, and he unfortunately doesn't feel like a very strong champion. So maybe we kind of pulled the trigger a little too soon on him. I'm trying to think of some other good ones who I'm like, why do they keep pushing this guy? But now, as far as like underrated, I think you can have guys like I think you even might have mentioned earlier with like Alex Shelley or Hernandez.
Hernandez for sure is underrated.
Hernandez. Just freaking so many.
Gail Kim.
I mean, realistically though, that's not completely wrong because she can clearly work and she's just a manager.
Right. I'm not even saying just because she's hot. It's because
I think Gail Kim's not a bad answer for that, dude. That's pretty solid. I'd even say just because of the way they were used this year in particular, the Naturals, because we know they're better than they were this year. So they clearly were underrated to whoever was booking them because they did not need Shane Douglas and all that garbage.
Yeah, that was detrimental. Big time.
It really was. It really was. Okay, so as far as where we fall on these lists here, as far as most overrated, believe it or not, Sting comes in at the number 9 spot.
I was going to say Sting.
And in the number 2 spot is Jeff Jarrett. So I can see the Sting situation. He's probably not at the level that they were hoping, or we'd like to see him at.
Yeah.
I could understand that, especially with how we're ending this year. We peaked when he won the title, and he dropped it very soon after, and then we're crashing, dude. And then he didn't wrestle half of the middle of the year, so I get it. The only person above Jeff Jarrett is Batista, in case you're curious. And as far as honorable mentions, it's Kurt Angle and Abyss fall into that category.
People are saying Batista's overrated.
Yeah. He's number 1. Now, the most underrated, we have a couple spots in here as well. Senshi falls into the number 10 spot. And in the number 5 spot is Alex Shelley. And then in honorable mentions, we have Jay Lethal and, believe it or not, Ron Killings.
I mean, I could understand Ron.
I could see why you'd vote that way.
Yeah. Senshi, I guess, could make sense. And same thing with Shelley. I'm surprised there's no love for Hernandez. That's surprising. I know. Maybe people just aren't familiar enough with him to know if he's underrated or not.
Right. The next couple categories, we're actually not going to. I'm just going to tell you what it says, these next two, because there's nothing to talk about, and that would be the promotion of the year. And I'll just tell you that TNA falls in the number 8 spot. And the weekly TV show is Impact, falling in at the number 5 spot.
Is OVW ahead of them still in promotion of the year?
Yeah, let me see. In promotion? No. In promotion, they're not even on the list. As far as promotion, it goes above TNA. It's AAA, Pride Fighting Championships, WWE, Pro Wrestling Noah, CMLL, Ring of Honor, and then the UFC.
Okay.
And then the weekly shows of the year, in case you're curious about this, Noah, Pro Wrestling Noah, falls into number 4. SmackDown is 3. CMLL is number 2. And then UFC is number 1.
Okay.
And there's no OVW there either.
Okay. That makes sense because Heyman's not booking it anymore.
Right. Okay. Worked match of the year. Now, it's worked match because he also has shoot match. So for us, this is just strictly match of the year. What do we think was the best match of the year? To me, this is a little too easy.
Well, you're what, Joe Angle? Obviously.
Joe Angle 2.
2.
Specifically. I mean, it was freaking awesome.
LAX and AJ Daniels Cage would be probably up there.
Really good. Really, really good. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. There was plenty of really awesome matches this year, but I knew when we saw that match, I was like, this has got to be it for me.
Well, we really enjoyed AJ Daniels against AMW, one of them, didn't we?
Yeah, they did have one of those was really good tag team match. I'm trying to remember which one it was.
Was it Sacrifice?
Oh, you know what? It might have been because we didn't like Sacrifice, but that match I do remember being like, well,
that match
was really good. Yeah, I think those are pretty solid. I always like the King of the Mountain matches, but they're never going to be a match of the year, I don't think. But they're pretty fun.
No.
I'm just clicking through cards and we're getting reminded of stuff. Yeah, because at Slammiversary, they did an AMW and Styles Daniel one. They were all good, if I remember correctly. I don't remember any of them being bad.
For which one?
AMW and Styles Daniels. The only one that was not great was the 6-man that was at Victory Road when they had Sorelda in it.
Sorelda, yeah.
That was like a waste of time.
Yeah, that was one I definitely remember not liking.
I know that you were a big fan of the hair versus hair match with Raven and Zbyszko.
Yeah, that's an all-timer.
That's a big one for Bob. I remember he wouldn't stop talking about it.
No. Classic.
I mean, I really liked Sting and Jarrett at Bound for Glory. I feel like it's not popular. Do I think match of the year as far as this other stuff? No, but I do remember enjoying it quite a bit.
Right.
Same for like the Christian Rhino matches. I really enjoyed, I think, all of them. I think they all really surprised me with how well they were, or how good they were.
Yeah.
What else was on Bound for Glory? See, okay. See, Senshi and Sabin. Is that the one where they did the doll though? Senshi and Sabin did some bullshit with the Jackass doll, and then they had a rematch that was pretty good.
The Jackass doll was that like not Bound for Glory.
No, that was No Surrender. Then it has to be. Right?
I think it was No Surrender.
Okay, yes, it was. Okay, so their Bound for Glory match was good then.
Yeah.
Okay, so where do we fall on this worked match of the year out of all the matches that took place? Well, it's kind of a random one, but in the number 5 spot, Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles. And that is from, hold on, make sure I say the right show name. Wait, is it really this one? Hold on. I'm pulling up cards to make sure I'm saying the right one, because I don't think he's got the date written here correctly. It says December 11th of, wait, 05. Oh, because it falls into the end of the year before.
He's considering the last month of 05 for 06?
Ugh, that's so lame. I didn't even realize that. No wonder I was so confused. Okay, so that's pretty lame. But there's good news, because we also fall into the honorable mention category with Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe from Genesis in Orlando. And then Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles versus Christopher Daniels that happened earlier in the year fall into the honorable mention category as well.
Yeah, that was what, against all odds?
I think so, yes.
I think.
We do not fall into the Rookie of the Year category. I couldn't even think of who I would consider Rookie of the Year. I guess Hernandez probably, if I was going to shoot out loud now that we've been talking a lot about it.
Well, here's the thing. He's not even a rookie in our universe because he was part of the Elite Guard.
Oh, I mean, that's a fair point. Damn, that's annoying.
So, I mean, so this version of his character is a rookie, but yeah, he was part of the Elite Guard.
If we're talking about, well, because it's like, do you consider rookie like they made their debut this year, or that they are like young and fresh?
So for me, I would say, so like, okay, Kurt Angle wouldn't be considered a rookie.
Well, that's kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider that Rookie of the Year. So that's a tough thing, because who would really be?
That's what I mean.
I don't think we have anybody that would classify as a rookie.
Well, I'll say this: when we come back to our debut list at the end of this, if someone sticks out, we can mention it.
Yeah, but like any of those people would have been somewhere else.
Well, right, but
you know what I mean?
I think usually we can. Well, yeah, but I think for us, we consider it to be like their first year in the company kind of thing. But then it is like Kurt Angle. So
yeah, so like the whole thing would be like we could do that and then just say Kurt Angle's not eligible.
Right. Because it's Kurt Angle.
How would you vote? Yeah, how could you vote against Kurt Angle for that?
Right. Well,
could you imagine writing down in your Observer Awards list for Rookie of the Year and putting Kurt Angle?
It's Kurt Angle.
It's Kurt.
That's wild. The next category is the best non-wrestler. We had a bunch of those, right? You have Conan. You have Gail Kim. Father James Mitchell. Don West, Mike Tenay. They're not managers, but they're non-wrestlers.
Definitely non-wrestlers, yeah.
Letitia. Jeremy Borash. Simon Diamond. Shane Douglas.
No, I wouldn't say Shane.
I'm just listing people right now.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, this is a Conan vote.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think he kind of killed it here. We actually have quite the showing on the list for this one. In the number 9 spot, Kevin Nash even falls into this, which is kind of funny. I wouldn't have considered that, but it's a good one. In the number 3 spot is Father James Mitchell.
Well, hang on a minute. He did technically wrestle.
I know, but he also kind of transitioned to like this more goofy manager kind of role. So I see how it could work.
Yeah, but he wrestled.
I know.
So I don't know if I can be like, he's definitely entertaining, but I don't know if I can classify him as a non-wrestler.
Right. So number 3 was Father James Mitchell. Number 2 is Conan. And in the number 1 spot, it's Jim Cornette.
That's got to be the Ring of Honor stuff.
It's got to be.
It's it's the Ring of Honor Combat Zone feud. It's going to get all that praise for, not the TNA.
Right. Next up, we don't really have much to talk about. The best television announcer, Mike Tenay, takes the number 4 spot. There's no other thing. As far as the worst television announcer, Mike Tenay also comes in at number 6 on this list, and Don West comes in at number 4, and I think people are crazy. But it's just for fun. Who's above Don West is the worst television announcer according to these people. We have Jonathan Coachman, Michael Cole, and Todd Grisham.
Well, Grisham I can get. I understand Grisham. I'm surprised Lawler's not. Well, he probably is on there, but maybe not as high.
He's number 5.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. All right.
As far as the best major wrestling show, TNA does not make the list, but they do make honorable mention with Bound for Glory. I think if we were going to pick a pay-per-view that was the best of the year, it's probably also Bound for Glory, in my opinion.
Sure. Yeah.
In case you're curious what the number 1 spot was, just for fun, it's Glory by Honor 5 at the Manhattan Center. Okay. Now, I think these next few, we can talk a little bit about one of them. I think we're getting close to wrapping this up here. Yep. I think we're getting pretty close. We have a couple more we can talk about. So I'll run through these next couple just to kind of keep us moving. But this is now the Category B Awards, which is determined by first place votes. As far as the worst major wrestling show, TNA makes the list 4 times. In the
Justice.
Number 9, Hard Justice in August. Number 8, Bound for Glory in October.
As the worst?
Yeah.
No way, dude.
It's apparently worse than Hard Justice, according to these people.
No way.
Number 7, Victory Road in July. And in number 6 is Genesis in November.
What?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. If you're curious what is above that, I'll just give you the first 2, because the first one is a UFC show in Las Vegas, UFC 61, and then number 2 is Cyber Sunday. So those are what's kind of above it. Yeah, those are weird ones to me too.
I don't even know. I don't even know how.
Isn't that wild?
That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
That is insane. I totally disagree with that. That's incredible. That is nuts.
The next category is the best wrestling maneuver, which I think this is always kind of a weird one. So I'll just tell you what we got here. TNA makes the list. Yeah, TNA makes the list 5 times. Number 9 is Low-Key's double foot stomp, which, by the way, he calls it the Warrior Way. So I don't know why I didn't name it, but Samoa Joe's Muscle Buster is number 8. Hernandez's Border Toss is number 4. Homicide's Gringo Killa is number 3. Number 2 is the Canadian Destroyer, and that's all we got because Kenta's Go to Sleep is number 1.
A knee?
Yep.
Is better than the Canadian Destroyer?
Or the Gringo Killa, or the Border Toss.
No. What are we talking about? What are we doing?
We luckily do not fall into the most disgusting promotional tactic category this year, so that's good.
Wow. What? Really?
Yeah. The number 1 for that was WWE exploiting the death of Eddie Guerrero. So we.
No shit. Well, of course. Yeah, they did. That was bad.
Yeah. And then they got, just for fun. This is so funny. IWA having Savio Vega stab Invader in the chest, and then Vince McMahon feuding with God. So we lucked out in there.
Whoa, wait a minute. Savio Vega stabbing Vader?
Invader.
Oh yeah, he was stabbed.
Savio Vega stabbing Invader. His name is Invader, not
the wrestler Invader.
Yes.
Oh Jesus Christ. Okay.
Could you imagine?
Well, I was like picturing Big Van Vader getting stabbed by Savio Vega.
By Savio Vega, yeah. The next category is the worst television show. Impact falls in the number 3 spot, only under ECW, and then Raw is number 1. So technically, if you look at the reverse order of this, Bob, OVW is technically better than TNA Impact because they're number 7.
For the worst show?
Yeah, worst television show.
Is Raw in 06 that bad?
That's what I was trying to remember because I feel like I remember this year being solid, but what do I know?
I really don't even remember. ECW, I keep being on there.
Mm-hmm.
That went bad pretty quick. And that's also probably a lot of people disappointed with what ECW became. So they probably voted hard for that.
Right.
I don't know. 2006 Raw? I don't know.
The next category is the worst match of the year, which we've seen plenty, so I don't know if we really need to try to think of how many bad matches we've seen. But TNA does make the list for this one, and it's actually the number 1 spot.
Oh, no.
Give me one guess. What do you think?
Raven Sabisco.
Yeah, you would think, but unfortunately, it's the TNA Reverse Battle Royal for the Fight for the Right tournament.
They're including like TV matches too?
Yeah.
Oh my! I would never. Okay.
And now I'm just gonna know.
I'm thinking just paper.
I haven't been reading, or I actually took them all out of the list. As far as his notes, Dave Meltzer wrote notes for all of these, but I had to shorten my document. He says, I thought the Reverse Battle Royal was rushed and goofy as hell, but far from the worst match of the year. He even notes that Kane versus Imposter Kane was so bad, which, by the way, that's number 2, that Vince McMahon actually killed the entire angle based on the match. So even Dave is like, I don't think it was the worst match, but we did also get an honorable mention, and that was Petey Williams versus Jay Lethal in that weird Jackass style match that they did
because
on
he
September
shit his
24th.
Pants, right?
I think that's the one where he shit his pants. Okay.
So that pisses me off even now just thinking about it.
We can kind of combine this one. We have a couple more here. I feel like this is never ending, but it's the worst feud of the year. Did we even talk about the best feud? I thought I don't even know where I see it.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
LAX and like AJ and stuff.
Oh yeah. Okay. Then let me just tell you this. Let's just keep this going here. We have 3 spots. Honorable mention as well, which was Eric Young and Larry Zbyszko. But as far as the main list, number 10 is VKM versus DX. Because it's like barely a feud.
You know what? I would consider that a disgusting promotional tactic.
Oh. That's fair.
That's what I would consider that.
That's fair. Number 9 is Sting versus Jeff Jarrett. Number 8, Kevin Nash versus Chris Sabin. And then everything else is WWE.
This is worst feud.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Sabin and Nash is not a bad feud.
It was what people are upset because he didn't pin Nash at some point.
Yeah, because you didn't beat him. That's not a bad feud. Sting and Jarrett, give me a break.
Come on.
This wasn't bad.
I know.
I wouldn't put it in my top 10 of bad of any of all the promotions.
Right. Speaking of worst, the worst promotion of the year, TNA comes in at the number 3 spot, and above it is New Japan in number 2 and WWE in number 1.
As the worst promotions.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've got to be kidding me.
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
What are the other promotions on that list?
Okay. Well, I'll go from the bottom to the top for you.
Yeah.
Number 10, IWA Puerto Rico. Number 9, 1PW. Number 8, CZW. Number 7, AAA. Number 6, OVW. Number 5 is the World Fighting Alliance. Number 4 is Hustle. And then we have number 3, TNA, then New Japan in 2, and WWE number 1.
Okay, and so if you're just voting the ones that they know, I mean, Combat Zone Wrestling is not better than TNA, and it's not better than WWE. Like, what are we talking about?
That's what we got. And Deep South is an honorable mention, in case you're wondering.
the fucking developmental?
Yeah, dude, Deep South.
Oh my god.
Yeah. We do not fall in the best booker or promoter of the year categories at all. As far as the best gimmick, we have the best and the worst gimmick. We do fall into both categories a little bit here. Do you want me to just tell you what they are? You just go.
Yeah.
Through them? Okay.
Yeah.
As far as the best, Eric Young comes in at number 8, and LAX is number 1, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. As far as the worst gimmick, Abyss comes in the number 9 spot, and the X Division Jackass gimmick comes in at number 6, and number 2 is the VKM gimmick as far as the worst. So it's pretty fair. If it makes you feel better, though, DX, Big Dick Johnson, and Spirit Squad are also included on this list. So the fact that those are all also tied in with the VKM thing is pretty funny to me.
Yeah, that's good.
We don't have a pro wrestling book, so we can't talk about that. And we actually don't even have a Best Pro Wrestling DVD on the list either. So, Bob, that wraps up our Wrestling Observer Awards. So here's my favorite part of all the other fun stuff. So let me scroll back up to the top, and then we can talk about, well, I'm just going to list them. We're not really talking about them. The debuts that we've had in 2006, the tournaments, and all the fun match stipulations. And boy, was there a lot of them. Okay, so in 2006, we had these people debut. Hiroshi Tanahashi. I don't really want to say his name, but he technically...
I totally forgot about that.
That one loser that we try not to talk about. He made his debut. I'm just not going to say it.
What?
Oh, fine, I'll say it. We try not to say his...
Well, hang on a minute. No. Don't... Where do we know him from?
He was just a job guy. He technically made his TNA debut.
He didn't make his debut earlier than this year?
Not that I saw.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
I feel like I know who you're talking about, but I could have sworn we saw him like fucking 2004.
Okay. I'm pausing. I'm typing it in. Hold on. I hope I'm wrong. Because I usually try to go back and make sure I can see if I see these people earlier. Did I make a mistake? Oh, Bob's right. I did make a mistake. Ooh, okay. Hold on. I got to take him off the list then. Boom. Okay. Anyways, let's start from the top. Hiroshi Tanahashi. Machete. Earl Hebner. Brother Runt. Christy Hemme. I don't even remember how to say this name properly. It was the La Migra, which was Donovan Morgan, Michael Modest, and Ryan Drago.
Right.
Dylan Knight. Scott Steiner. Minoru Tanaka. Hiroki Goto. Black Tiger, which was Rocky Romero in this case. Magno. Tyson Ducks. Incognito. Mr. X, which was Todd Stone. Apparently, I wrote Brother Runt again, so I must have made this list pretty quick. Serelda, Robert Adams, El Diablo, who was on a pre-show. We didn't technically see it, but since it was on a pre-show, I count that. I don't count Explosion usually, but Jimmy Jacobs technically made his debut on a pre-show, but was on Explosion before. We saw Sherry Martel, Colonel Robert Parker, Kirby Mack and TJ Mack, Brandon Tomaselli, Jeff Luxon, Tyler Black, Letitia, Tomko, and we cannot forget Kurt Angle. So most of those, if you couldn't tell, were a lot of job guys.
Right, as expected.
But technically, they all made their TNA debut, except that apparently I made a mistake on one, and I wrote Brother Runt twice. So. Pretty fun. And if you want to go back to our Rookie of the Year, I still think it's Kurt Angle in this case.
Oh.
Okay, as far as tournaments, Bob, we were pretty light on tournaments this year. We had a number 1 contendership tag team tournament, the World X Cup qualifier, which ended up being the World X Cup tournament, the Fight for the Right tournament, and of course, it is ongoing, but the Paparazzi Championship Series started as well. We also... as far as match stipulations, we had quite a bit here. We had a street fight. We had 2 Falls Count Anywhere matches. We had a Falls Count Anywhere 3-way dance, a no DQ 3-way dance, a couple special referee matches. I think I might even reference that again. So I think there was about 2 of those, 2 Ultimate X matches, an international X Division 4-way, a steel cage tag team match, a tag team street fight, 2 no DQ tag team matches. I started to include the 6-man tag team matches, but there ended up being so many that I decided that one really doesn't count as far as a match stipulation. But we did have a mixed 6-man tag team match, which is for the NWA titles. That was that match with Sorelda and Gail Kim that I noted. We had the all or nothing 8-man tag team match. We had 3 or so 8-man tag team matches. So once again, doesn't really count at this point. We had 4 steel cage matches. We had an escape steel cage match, so it was listed a little bit differently. We had the Anthem 6-man steel cage match. It was essentially a flag match. We had a Lethal Lockdown, the World X Cup Gauntlet, Full Metal Mayhem, the Bingo Hall Brawl, 6-way X Division elimination match, King of the Mountain. We had 2 2-on-1 handicap matches, or I think 2. 3-on-1 handicap match, a 3-on-2 handicap match, hair versus hair, a 5-way X Division match, the Border Brawl, the match of 1,000 or 10,000 thumbtacks, Hangman's Horror came back, Fans Revenge match with the Straps with Jarrett and Joe, Tag Team Triple Chance Battle Royal, a 5-way loser gets fired match, a singles loser gets fired match, an unsanctioned ladder match, an Orlando street fight, special referee Monsters Ball, that was at Bound for Glory with Jake Roberts. Oh yes, there's another, see I wrote it again, another special referee match. So we had 3, I think, special referees, and then that Monsters Brawl. We had the 8-mile street fight, the Kevin Nash Open Invitational X Division Gauntlet Battle Royal at Bound for Glory, the Reverse Battle Royal, a 2 tag team table matches, a barbed wire 6 sides of steel, a no rules, no morals, no mercy 5-way match, the Paparazzi Championship Series 5-way elimination match that was to determine their rankings, with the flag ladder tag team match. We had a bikini contest, not exactly a match, but it happened. We had the title versus AMW will split up if they lose tag team match that just happened. And then, of course, on our last episode, we couldn't end the show without one final stipulation. It was a non-title nightstick on a pole 3-way match. Pretty crazy. So that was quite a bit of stipulations that we had. Now, the other fun thing I always like to bring up is our overall, what did we think of the year? When me and Bob do our votes, we always give it a thumbs up, a thumbs down, or a thumbs in the middle. That goes for TVs, that goes for pay-per-views. And I am proud to say we gave it 54 thumbs up. Only 4 shows averaged into the middle, and 7 shows were thumbs down. And we've recorded over 120 hours of TNA wrestling. It's pretty wild. So it was quite the year. Actually, I wonder if I pull up the year in review from the previous year, I can compare. Oh, here it is right here. So just for reference, in 2005, we were 53 thumbs up, 1 in the middle, and 3 down. So technically there's a couple worse shows, but it looked like overall we hit even more shows, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if I realized that. We must have been preempted a few times or something like that, but what a year it has been. And I am looking forward to starting 2007. Well, and I guess that all being said, we can kind of get into some additional notes. There's a couple things. There's really only 3 that we're going to mention before we get into the show, and then we can start watching it. So let's just run through these really quick, and then we can start enjoying 2007 finally. Now, the company has been in constant contact with Conan, particularly the Carters, who have called him almost every day. He went in his MySpace account telling what happened, believing his kidneys were damaged from an infection his immune system didn't recognize. He requested a donor kidney and noted he had type O blood. He'll probably return in some form when he's back walking after the hip replacement surgery, but won't be able to do much of anything physically for a while, and will likely lose significant weight. Luckily for him, they have discovered his talent as a manager, or he'd be really screwed right now. He's been told that he has to go on a strict diet to help cleanse his blood along with the painful dialysis. He's likely to come back a lot smaller because he won't be able to train or eat. He's been told no alcohol, no drugs, no dairy products, absolutely no salt in any food, and he has to keep his protein intake low, which is a complete lifestyle change for someone who has had more than 2 decades of bodybuilder mentality. In particular, high protein diet with a lot of dairy products, and of course his wrestler lifestyle. So that is quite the change for Conan. Another note, the new UK TV deal is with Bravo 2 beginning on January 6th. Impact will be airing on Saturday nights, 2 nights after it airs in the US. The debut show is listed as airing 10 to 11 p.m., but we don't have confirmation on that if that's the permanent time slot. They will also get pay-per-view shows for free on television, which is pretty cool, once a month, airing on the Wednesday after the show airs. That's similar to UFC in the UK, where Bravo airs pay-per-view shows a day after the event. Bravo did their homework as to what they were getting, given the description in the TV listing. It says that, quote, TNA Wrestling, all of the latest TNA Impact Wrestling action from the USA, the new spin-off from WCW and WWF Wrestling, where weapons are permitted and the action is extreme. It's quite the description.
Weapons are permitted. What in the world?
It's pretty good. And I have one final note, and then we can start 2007, man. We're ready to go. This is actually a pretty surprising one, I thought, and it actually kind of relates to partially last episode as well. But several days before the last tapings, which includes last week's episode, this week's, and next week's, Simon Diamond, Jerry Lynn, and Shane Douglas were given word that they were all being suspended as agents for the taping. The story that they were given is that they weren't being hard enough on talent, and they turned in their agent reports a few days late after the prior taping. So they were told the suspension would only be for that taping, but it hit hard since it was the last taping before Christmas.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So they suspended them for essentially 3 shows.
Yeah, essentially. But I'm pretty sure, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, Jerry Lynn also technically is appearing as talent, so he might have appeared on the last show. I can't quite remember off the top of my head. But he may still appear on these shows, but just not as an agent.
But not as yeah.
But that screws Simon Diamond and Shane Douglas.
Right. Wow, because they're not hard enough.
Yeah, dude, they're being too nice. Oh, I forgot. I was going to watch that 2006 music video to wrap us up. I forgot about it because I have it loaded up here. I don't know if I think we pretty much covered everything, I suppose, at this point. Oh, do you remember Rhino and Abyss went through the wall? See, that was fun.
That was fun. You know what we should have done? We should have gone through every single title change.
Oh, that'd be fun. Okay. New goal for 2007. Also, this year in 2007, for pay-per-views, let's try to remember. We're going to forget, but let's try to remember. Let's try to keep track of those star ratings as we kind of go throughout the year. Right. As we're watching the shows, because maybe we'll have a better time talking about some of our favorite matches that we saw, as far as at least. Dude, Lethal Lockdown was wicked good too. I'm watching this video, and they're showing some good shit. They also make some of the bad stuff look good too, so you got to be careful watching these kind of things.
Because it's like, it's like a split second of,
They just showed Raven.
AJ Brzezinski.
Yeah, well, they just showed Raven so fast, you would have thought that he won the title. It was like you saw him like, ugh. I was like, what? Oh yeah, so Jim Cornette stealing the title after Jarrett held it hostage. Rhino burning the ECW TV title. Dude, Team Canada split up this year. Holy crap! Talk about a shocking moment.
That was a few months into the year, wasn't it?
I mean, it looked like, at least in this video, it's like July.
That long?
Yeah, I forgot. Wow.
Oh my God.
That's how fast, Daniel's jumping to the Ultimate X for that tag team title. Man, dude, there's some good stuff here. See, I'm glad I threw this on.
That's the thing with wrestling. I feel like the perception of time,
it doesn't exist.
It's really hard to document.
Yeah.
And to maintain. You don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we covered the end of this year part pretty good though, from what I'm seeing. Tag team Lethal Lockdown, Bound for Glory. That barbed wire steel cage match was pretty fucking brutal. That was on the primetime special. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, 2006. It was a really good year. I think we kind of dipped toward the end a little bit with some things, but I think overall, really, really strong year for TNA, and it was a lot of fun to watch.
It's funny you said that we dipped towards the end of the year because I got the same vibe.
We've talked about it and we'll continue. I'm sure we'll see it on the show. The pacing, it's definitely less focus in ring, more focus on segments, all of which necessarily aren't good. So I think that's where it's kind of a bummer. But that's not saying that they've all been bad shows.
No.
Why can't I turn my volume up all of a sudden on this show? Hold on, I gotta close my player. It's different. And that's not necessarily a good thing.
Yeah. I think we've identified TNA as always being the better like in-ring product, and now they've kind of shifted away from that. Because it seemed like for a brief while there, they were like, oh, we're gonna have longer matches, be more in-ring, and not be heavy on angles. And then when Russo came in, it's been shifted back to like segments.
Right. Well, boy, am I ready to get into it. We have been talking for quite a bit here. This episode's always a longer one. We had to do a lot of recap, but we are officially ready to start 2007. We're kicking off the new year, right? And man, I can't wait to watch Impact.
Yeah, and now to give anybody kind of full disclosure, I reviewed TNA Impacts from 2007 a while ago. Safe to say, don't really remember what I watched because I mind-numbingly review things where I immediately then forget what I watched. I will say I didn't watch any of the pay-per-views. I just watched the TV.
Oh, okay.
So I for sure have never seen a good portion of the pay-per-view material. So, but this will be a nice little refresher course for me to remember what I've already written about on WrestlingRecaps.com. And who knows, maybe my opinion will change.
It could.
All right, let's get into the January 4th, 2007 edition of TNA Impact. The approximate runtime for ours is 41 minutes and 56 seconds. If you want to watch along with us, head over to the TNA Plus app, or if it's in your own personal collection, that will do the trick as well. I'm going to count down from 3, and when I say play, that is when the watch along begins. So 3, 2, 1, play.
TNA, we are wrestling. Oh, we forgot Samoa Joe was Mr. TNA. That's what started off that whole segment where he broke his female companion's ankle.
And that woman is not his wife,
as we have learned.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way.
Kurt, let her go. I like how he's got her in it. He's like, okay, I'll give it to you. He lets go, and he's like, well, too late. Pop.
Do you think we'll see her again, but like in a brace?
They have to show her in the brace. Oh, we're kicking off Impact. Samoa Joe limping into Cornette's office.
The ever charismatic Samoa Joe.
Kurt's got a match tonight.
With me?
He wants him tonight, but he's like, well, Kurt's already got a match. Look at the fans' revenge sign above Jim Cornette's head that's in his office.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they want Samoa Joe to leave the building. Just to save people from getting hurt, I want you to leave. I'm not even here to hurt TNA. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to hurt Kurt.
Yeah, but Joe, if you hurt Kurt, you hurt TNA.
That's true. Now, I want to point out, Kurt was not using crutches there. He was visibly limping when he went into the office, but I think it's to try to give us the illusion that he's like healing as we go toward the pay-per-view.
That Joe's healing?
Yeah, but this is the same taping where he has to use the crutches because he got injured, and right there he wasn't using crutches.
Okay, but us as a viewer wouldn't know it's the same taping. It's a different week.
Right. So I think they're trying to like give us the illusion that, oh, he's better now.
Oh yeah,
But like, he's not.
absolutely.
SoCal Val coming ringside again after
I
Kurt Angle
suddenly
attacked her.
feel a lot better too, seeing SoCal. Yeah,
Oh, hello. A lot more signs in the crowd. A lot of Samoa Joe signs. I saw an Austin Star sign in the background.
planted.
I mean, a lot of them are, I'm sure, but
What?
what did he just say?
It's a Mexican street fight.
Oh,
Homicide against Brother Runt.
oh, Christian Cage versus Kurt Angle tonight, dude. That is a huge match.
It's so bizarre to do that.
I'm turning this up a little bit. Oh, he's ending a very important stipulation to the NWA World Title match between Christian Cage, Monster Bass, and Sting. So I wonder what that's going to be. Jeremy Borash is going to attempt to get comments from Samoa Joe.
I feel like I wouldn't try to approach him right now.
No. We're starting off with Robert Roode.
You know what also makes him overrated is that he's wearing a Terry Taylor robe.
Which is also Scott D'Amore robe.
Scott D'Amore robe too, right? Get the hair out of your face.
Yeah, Oh, he's sending Tracy to the back. He just got scared by that pyro, I think. I don't think he expected it. He could look like he kind of like twitched.
He twitched a little bit, yeah.
Oh, Miss Brooks and Eric Young meeting in the men's room.
Who's the greatest? Rhino.
Oh. The War Machine. I like when he was the Man Beast, which is like the oddest nickname to me.
The Man Beast, Rhino. Was he Man Beast here?
Yeah, he was Man Beast.
Was he?
Yeah. Because I remember being like, why is that his name?
I feel like I like Man Beast more than I like War Machine.
I just think Man Beast sounds so weird. Hey, Bob, speaking of signs in the crowd, I got a sign note, which was not on purpose. I just saw it again. So they had a house show, WWE did, that is, in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and they were confiscating a lot of signs at the door. And he says, Dave mentions how normally the policy is they confiscate lewd signs, right? Which makes sense because, there's going to be parents bringing kids and stuff like that. But they were also confiscating anything that's TNA related, since we are technically competition. And Dave even notes they've got a right to do that. But I just hope that they don't brag about fans' freedom of expression. Now, later in this house show, when they had to kill time putting up a cage for the main event, Teddy Long came out and announced that they were having a best sign contest. So you can imagine how that got over with fans.
Right. My thing, so of course, I mean, I get it, but it's also like it's a house show.
Right. Well,
who's really going to be seeing the signs?
Well, that's true too. Also, I forgot. He also says like they also take like anti-babyface signs, or if you're plugging like a website or competitive product, something like that. Which I had like a Cena suck sign that I'd bring to shows, and like I can't remember what show it was. I wonder if it was that Battleground show we didn't invite you to, but
sick invite.
But they almost took it from me. I think it was that one. And like the friends we were with were like really mad. And we're like, what the fuck are they gonna take down?
Really?
But they did.
Was Cena on the show?
I don't remember. I could have been wrong about what show I'm talking about, but
I don't know if he was on that show. Because I remember that was like Daniel Bryan and Orton.
Yeah, it must not be that. Maybe it's not that one then, but
I've never watched that show because it hurts too much.
Ooh, maybe we should do it as you, me, and Austin should watch it as a bonus episode.
Yeah.
These guys have been just brawling with each other here.
Yeah, it looks like Cena's not on that show.
No, okay, I lied then. It must not be that one. It must have been like a Raw or something. I don't know. Shoulder block by Rhino
I
in the
bet
corner.
you it was the house show where it was like Cena and Ziggler, and you were like front row for it.
No, because what I'm talking about was definitely a TV taping. Because I brought that to house shows plenty of times. They never tried to take it at a house show. One time I had it and Cena threw a wristband at my face, essentially.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, Tracy's trying to distract Rhino, and now he's pulling her into the ring. He ducks. Oh, Robert Roode almost runs into a roll up by Rhino. And that's a 3. The War Machine gets the win with a roll up. Tracy is going to get in trouble.
Dude, he made a blunder making her his manager.
He wanted to be champion, unfortunately.
Here's the thing. Just fire her.
I mean...
Why torture yourself?
Well, she's got the assets he needs to be champion.
No, she doesn't. You didn't fucking do nothing. She just tried to distract Rhino with her assets and failed.
Correct. Oh, AJ's attacking Rhino from behind.
Here's the thing. I don't want to boo AJ Styles.
I do. Look at this bad guy. He's wearing jeans and a t-shirt.
I don't want to hate him. You know, clearly AJ needs a hug right now, and then Rhino just hit a belly-to-belly suplex. That's rude.
So it might help him.
Well, it could have if he
look
wasn't
at this. Look at
a jerk.
Robert Roode's back. He swept the foot of Rhino. He just saved AJ from getting hit with the gore. Can you believe this?
Hey, you know what? Since AJ's talking about being poor and growing up in a trailer park, which doesn't really necessarily classify you as poor, Roode could give him some money. Help him out. How about his family?
Maybe Styles should join Robert Roode Inc. Oh, shit. Styles clash on Rhino. Oh, shit. Big Papa Pump. You see this?
Yeah,
bicep?
when did AJ get guns?
Holy crap.
I don't think I ever really noticed him being like fucking buff.
Okay, we're outside the office of Jim Cornette with JB. Is that the Final Resolution poster behind him with Samoa Joe on it? Eric Young just popped up. Yes, yes, it is. Eric Young just popped up. Jeremy, can I talk to you for a second? Who's he talking about?
He's talking about Tracy trying to get him to have sex with him.
Oh, he's not talking about anyone in specific. Oh, no. Are they trying to... He's saying, well, he's got a problem. He's not really skilled in this way. Oh,
he's a virgin.
Is he a virgin? No, he's from Kansas.
Unbelievable.
It's so funny. Oh, shit. Tracy's here. Did you get what I asked for you to give me?
And how do we not consider him the charisma? This is ridiculous.
Oh, if you don't get it, then you're fired next week, as if she has any decision-making power over that. Speaking of pickles, you got a couple bucks? What? Oh, here's Christy Hemme giving us the rundown. Samoa Joe's going to speak out next. Bob, I have a funny note for you about these Christy Hemme things. Oh, wait, hold on. Samoa Joe interview. I'll tell you after. Jim Cornette has asked you to leave the building, but you're still here. Angle! 4 weeks you tried to get my attention. Last week, you did. Between me and you, it was always about who was best. You couldn't accept the fact of who was best.
Joe, you couldn't either, though.
I know. They say that Final Resolution is 10 days away.
Joe, do they say that, or is it the case?
It is, but he says it's an eternity for him.
Yeah, but when he says they say, I mean,
he's not leaving until his job is done.
I don't know what that means.
Okay, as this entrance is coming here. Oh, it's VKM. I got a note about them too, actually. So there's a SmackDown ECW taping on January 2nd in Lakeland. Apparently, they debuted a bunch of new models on the show, he says. And guess what? They're doing bumpers that are similar to what Christy Hemme is doing about the match. Like, hey, coming up next. Except the difference is...
ECW?
Well, it's a taping for SmackDown ECW, so I don't know which one it's on. But
I don't remember ever seeing a similar bumper to what
well,
Christy
that's
had.
because they're similar, but not so similar because they're in bathtubs and they just welcome you back after the commercial break.
Oh my God. You're telling me that there's a commercial break and they're just in a bathtub saying welcome back to the
Yeah.
show?
Yeah.
What?
I do remember it, I feel like.
I don't ever remember that.
Okay, VKM is out here dressed in like ponchos and sombreros.
Okay, so are they going to feud with LAX now or something? What are we doing?
Yeah, wait a second. I have a really interesting note about these guys, but I kind of want to see where this is going first. I just feel like, but I'm afraid that this is about to take a turn. Vincent K. McMahon. It's been 4 weeks. 4 weeks with no response. They have piped in booze. Do you hear that?
Yeah, they absolutely have.
No text message, no fax.
I don't know if you really want a text message from Vince McMahon. I mean, I've seen what he's texted people before,
Oh,
and that
okay.
is pretty dangerous.
Maybe he does want
Well,
it. Ooh. You cannot solve a problem by simply ignoring it.
no, you can't.
Don't worry, Bob. Oh, he's got a megaphone. Kip James. What do you say? BG's not letting him speak. He's trying to be the one who controls the situation. It's got a siren going off. Give me this.
I don't.
This segment is. Ugh. Okay, he's reiterating the challenge. Okay, I'm telling you this note because this is going nowhere. The Raw from January 1st was in Miami. Now, Shawn Michaels, by the way, this was the show, in case you want a reference point, where Kevin Federline and John Cena had a match.
Yeah. Okay.
Shawn Michaels did a big promo where they actually kind of acknowledged TNA. He talked about guys who were supposed to be big stars who are not even here and are curtain jerking somewhere else. That was in reference to the James Gang deal. And then he made a remark about guys who call themselves the, quote, best in-ring performers of this generation who aren't even here anymore. That was designed to be ambiguous and make people think, who are they talking about? Without him saying the names, but that was meant for Bret Hart and Kurt Angle. Michaels apparently feels that he, or perhaps he and Flair, are the best in-ring performers of modern times and resents others who claim they are.
Okay. Well, Bret Hart had a stroke.
Yeah, but remember, this is at a time where he's still throwing shade.
Yeah, but like, come on, dude.
The more important part is he kind of acknowledged this bullshit James Gang thing.
I would never even uttered a word about it. Not on television.
Well, he did.
Because for these guys, for VKM, they would probably say that's a small victory.
Oh, it is. I would say it is. Michael Hickenbottom, we know you're working on a light schedule. You ain't taking every booking that comes your way. Guess what? Because he's contracted to dates in one company. He doesn't have any other bookings.
Right.
Hickenbottom's hometown in San Antonio. Not this Wednesday. Oh, this is where we call you out. This Wednesday. We're coming to your backyard this Wednesday, San Antonio, Texas. Wednesday at the Alamo at high noon. Come collect your $1 million.
I don't.
We'll be the idiots wearing sombreros and ponchos. Well, at least they're clear about that.
Yeah, I don't know why we're giving this as much TV time as we are.
Fake cheers being piped in.
Yeah.
When you hear real cheers in the Impact Zone, you can tell that those are piped in.
Yeah. Oh yeah. My favorite they pipe in is when in WCW they'd pipe in Goldberg, and no one in the crowd is like saying anything, and you can just see it.
Goldberg. Yeah, this is way too long. Oh, can't wait to wait till Thursday Impact till we find out what happens. Okay, PCS continuation here from Paparazzi Productions. Oh, we're playing Event 5, musical chairs. First place gets 5 points, and then it goes down from there. Oh, Kevin Nash is singing for the musical chairs.
Since she's not even walking.
No. Oh, Jay Lethal's out because he stopped. And
Yeah.
oh, now Senshi's just sitting in a seat. Oh my goodness. Oh, Senshi lost because he was in his ear.
I'm surprised that Senshi's like even really going along with this.
I know. Oh, adrenaline rush.
Adrenaline rush. Adrenaline rush. Adrenaline rush.
Oh shit.
Adrenaline rush. Adrenaline
Okay.
Adrenaline rush. Adrenaline rush. Oh my god.
Oh, he tricked him. Oh, because he kept going so Star could sit down. That's
yeah,
right.
Star
That's
was
pretty
like,
good. Feel free to kiss the winner. Dude, Shelley keeps trying to kiss Sanjay Dutt and he never won. It's so funny.
yeah.
Star is in the lead, by the way. Oh,
Oh my, what the
shocking
hell is this?
footage from James Mitchell coming up. Okay, earlier today, Jeremy Borash talked to Gail Kim.
Oh.
Ooh, okay. About the problems. There's no problem. They're done.
Okay, Cyboop, Jesus. Look at that. Come on, Dallas.
It came to a head at turning point.
I'm a man.
These problems started 5 months ago. You just dealt with them as a team and a family. She thought all the troubles were behind us. And 3 weeks ago, Storm did that to Chris. She has no explanation. It's kind of interesting that it's JB doing it and not Mike Tenay.
Yeah.
Here, wait, James Storm's just dragging the chair and he's like, I'm just going to sit right back here. Oh, he's like, I just want to hear you talk behind my back. She said, I'm not. What has gotten into you lately? I'm trying to explain to Jeremy what happened. He said, I'm trying to explain something, so let me explain it to you. Oh, he said, well, we don't have a women's division around here. The only ones I see are you. And he said, Hermie, which he pointed at Jeremy Borash. Okay, he's standing up. He set his beer down on the chair. That oh, he slided. Holy shit, he slided Jeremy Borash out of frame. Oh, James Storm, let me tell you something. You were brought in by me. There's no women's division here. Oh. Oh. Don't put your hand on her. You have 7 days. My patience is running thin with you like it was with him.
Son of a bitch. 7
Damn
days
it,
for what?
Are you kidding? We gotta lose her and the team? Are you kidding?
This is bullshit. Well, I don't want Gail with James.
No.
Like that. I have indie notes here for this Homicide Brother Runt. I'll just get this out of the way real quick. Back on December 22nd, Homicide was involved in a four-corner survival. Bryan Danielson defeated Homicide, Jimmy Rave, and Nigel McGuinness at Ring of Honor's International Challenge. And then arguably in the biggest win of Homicide's career. On December 23rd at Ring of Honor's Final Battle 2006, Homicide defeated Bryan Danielson to win the Ring of Honor World Championship at the Manhattan Center in New York City.
That's a big one.
It sure is.
Runt is running it. He already started the match during the entrance of Homicide, by the way.
For Brother Runt on December 30th, he defeated Romeo Rosselli for NWS. Romeo Rosselli, of course, is Romeo from the Heartthrobs.
Oh, wraps the chair around Homicide's head, threw him into the ring post. Grabbing one of those camera cables to choke him now. I got a note for you that's not related to this match at all, but I figure this is a good time to mention it as we're brawling up the ramp. The April 28th and April 29th King of Europe tournament in Liverpool, England, being put together by Alex Shane, now has announced wrestlers representing 16 different companies for the tournament. Now, so far, the only name listed is Chris Hero as the CZW representative, but other promotions involved will be TNA, Pro Wrestling Noah, ROH, PWG, 1PW, IPW, IPW UK, Pro Wrestling Unplugged, which is Todd Gordon's group in Philadelphia, IWA Mid-South, Chikara Pro, Real Quality Wrestling, which is a British group that is on the Wrestling Channel, WXW, which is in Germany, and Premier Promotions in UK. There are still several more promotions that have not been finalized. That's kind of cool. And my last two notes are about Kurt Angle, so we'll talk about during his match. 50 Greatest Moments from TNA DVD, in stores now. Final Resolution live on pay-per-view, January 14th. We have a ladder in the ring. I think there's did I see a chair in play as well?
Yeah.
Acid drop.
Well, they used it on the phone. Acid drop. Oh, the back of Runt's head is busted open.
From the chair shot. Referee's distracted. Oh, what's going on?
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. Hernandez is in the ring with the border toss onto the ladder.
Oh.
Holy shit. Holy shit. Homicide getting the pin. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. I do like that they needed a distraction for a street fight when it literally could have just happened, but that's okay.
I've never understood. They always do.
It makes you hate LAX just a little bit more, I guess. So.
It's like, it's just the minor details of that. Like, you don't need a distraction for a guy to interfere in a street fight. It makes no sense.
Well, don't worry. We're double teaming him now. And
oh, no.
Homicide's going to hit the Gringo Killer. Nope. Because Team 3D gets in the ring. Brother Ray grabs the ladder and throws it at Homicide.
Oh, it's Hernandez.
Brother Devon's also in there. I don't hate this feud so far.
Well, it's not even with Team 3D. It's with fucking Brother Runt.
That's probably why I don't mind it.
Oh, here's a suspended agent, Jerry Lynn, talking.
And Chris Sabin, who looks like he's in a sauna.
I think he is.
Sleeping on an at the side of an interstate because you can't afford a hotel. These guys don't get it. By the way, if you're following along, we are 25 minutes and 36 seconds into the show. Daniels is here talking about the title too. I forgot Jerry ripped off his shirt and was looking jacked again.
Yeah, and he threw down his agent tag, which kind of signifies I'm not a fucking agent.
I'm suspended from an agent.
Yeah, I'm a wrestler now.
Okay. Up next, the shocking footage from Father James Mitchell and the Monster Abyss, and then still to come, Christian Cage versus Kurt Angle.
I hope next week we see Christy Hemme in a bathtub.
We might, now that they're doing it on the other channel. Wait, hold on.
Last night.
He invited TNA cameras here. Abyss is screaming like he's being tortured as Mitchell has him by the back of the head. He brought him home.
PTSD here.
Yes, he goes, recognize this, Abyss? He threw Abyss in the corner, hit him in the midsection.
With his cane?
Does this bring back nasty memories to you? I see razor wire even on the cage behind him.
Yeah.
Whatever bond you have with Sting is going to get broken tonight. Christian and Tomko, the little secret they keep talking about, you idiot. They know this much. They know one sentence and a big story. I don't like the noises that this is making. It's making me uncomfortable.
Not at all. It sounds horrible.
Do not make me have to come back here. Sting is right about one thing. You got a choice to make, and you're going to make it tonight, right now. Christian, the extortionist, is right about something too. You can't escape your past. You've been trying to hide this little secret for 16 years. If I have to come back here one more time. Oh, he just grabbed Mitchell by the throat. Oh, he's choking him. Oh my God, he's choking him up against the cage. Blah, blah. Dude, these freaking noises. Okay, well, that's how that ends.
That was weird.
Christian Cage coming out now for his match. A couple quick notes for you as the entrances are happening. Regarding the Kurt Angle versus Bob Sapp as a program, the latest is that TNA has backed off after receiving a legal letter from K1. They did apparently send letters to WWE as well, which is really the final blow that killed the WWE talks. They sent it to Pride and every other major wrestling and fighting organization, claiming that they have him under contract until September and want promotions to go through them to book him so that they can take a cut.
Of course.
Also, the Kurt Angle segment on the George Michael Sports Machine show will air on January 14th. Michael handpicked Angle to be one of his guests on one of his last shows. I believe this is the one that Kurt Angle might have ranted for 30 minutes and they had to heavily edit. I could be wrong, but I think that was the one that I mentioned that for. And that's all my notes for the show.
I'm trying to wrap my head around this match right now that we're just putting this on cold.
Oh, wait, hold on. Are we? Cornette's on the screen. Oh, Christian, you haven't liked anything I've done here since I've been here in TNA, but you're not going to like this one either. Tomko's interfered in every contest. Oh. Final resolution. Oh. The stipulation for final resolution. Tomko is barred from ringside at final resolution. I like that he's telling him that right before his match.
Right. And the match isn't until 10 days. Why wouldn't you do that next week?
I don't know. But here comes his opponent, the Olympic gold medalist. Da-da. Da-da. Damn, man. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Samoa Joe visibly limping in, runs behind Kurt and attacks him.
Are we not going to get a match now?
Oh, whips Kurt Angle into the steps. I don't know, dude. We have quite a bit of time left in this show still.
Are you getting a bait and switch? Also, important to note that Angle still came out on the face side. Still.
Great point. Is it just because that's where the entrance for him is over there? They haven't put it on both sides yet, where he comes up from the bottom. I just thought about that. Maybe he literally can't come out unless he just walks out like a normal person.
Yeah.
Well, Angle's choking Joe with his ring jacket now. Joe.
I don't know if we're gonna get a match, dude.
Well, Angle just got thrown over the announce table, essentially onto the lap of Mike Tenay. Christian's loving this.
Easy day for him.
Could we see it literally be like he rolls Angle and Angle gets ready for the match and Christian's going to pin Kurt Angle?
That better not be what they're doing.
That'd be wild. Kurt Angle whipped into the guardrail, or not the guardrail, the ring post. I don't know, dude. Now I'm kind of wondering. Oh, Angle thrown into the crowd.
It's got personal.
We're trying to
go
restore
to commercial.
Order. Security in a crowd. Okay. Well, we tried to regain control, but it didn't work. We tried to do it, but no luck. Security, if those two guys want to fight this bad, is just protect the fans. Let them
we're
fight.
not getting a match, bro.
I don't know, dude.
They could absolutely just brawl for the next 8 minutes.
That's a very long time. Oh, Kurt Angle just went through a wall almost.
Yeah, that same wall that Rhino went through and must be very flimsy. Opposite side, this guy. Yeah, it's still flimsy on both sides.
Well, Christian's mad, so he's yelling at Cornette. We are outside the impact zone now.
There is no way we're getting any semblance of a match.
Oh, he got thrown into a guardrail. Look at the fans pouring out with these guys, dude. Kurt's got a chair, but Joe says nope, and too bad. Boom, chair to the back. Holy crap. We're like right in the area where they line you up to get into the building. Kurt's choking Samoa Joe with the shirt. He just took it right off his own back. Joe. Oh, ankle lock. Joe's countering it.
Joe, get out of it.
Oh, throwing Joe against the wall, the concrete wall.
With little plaques on it.
Yeah, little metal plaques. Oh, steel chair to the back. I'm not sure where our end goal is here. Where are we going? Oh, he threw Kurt into that pole. There's like two security guys trying to hold back probably 50 fans right here.
At least.
I feel like we're just going to loop back in the other side.
I wouldn't bother following them.
Oh, slams Angle against a door.
Is that woman pregnant?
I don't know, but there's a warning on the sign that says that TNA is not responsible if you get hurt through these doors, I think. Joke's on them. We're outside.
A good lawyer could fight that.
Tap. He's in the ankle lock. TNA assumes no responsibility for injuries of individuals during performances. Well, they can assume no responsibility, but...
Right, that's what I'm saying. A lawyer could be like, but you caused this when you had a guy dive to the floor and hit my client.
We're just keep going, dude. We're going down this long hall. Oh, we're going to this weird side.
We're going to the boiler room, dude. What is that?
Oh, he's taking like a piece of wall. It's like a piece of sheet metal. Oh, he missed him. Okay.
It's like a flimsy thing of plywood or something.
It looked like metal, I thought, but regardless. It's flimsy. Oh, look at someone's trying to come out of like the bathroom.
Yeah, that woman's like, what's going on out here? Is it It is a bathroom.
And thinking it. I think that's what that stroller is.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay, they went out the other door.
Okay, thank God.
Don't worry, we have a camera ready to go outside. I guess Bob's right. I guess we are brawling for 7 minutes
I'm
here.
telling you, dude, this is crazy.
We're in the park right now.
So, I mean, I'm kind of relieved that they wouldn't do just Kurt and Cage for no reason on Impact, just for the sake of a match.
Putting pallets into play Joe with a clothesline on the wall. See, there's like theme park stuff behind them.
You know what would be funny is if they're outside and all these fans try to re-enter it and they're like, no, you can't. You left.
Oh my God.
You left the building, so sorry about
It says
that.
Macy's on it. Is it like a parade float? Is that what I'm seeing? Look at this casual table just sitting here on outside of a truck.
You've never seen a table just chilling there before?
Go hit him against that giant snowman right now. Uppercut after he drove Joe on the table.
Is he gonna Olympic slam him?
Oh,
Is that
fuck,
Don?
It's Don Harris making screen time again. Samoa Joe just threw Kurt Angle through the table. Scoop slam through it. Look at the
another
crowd.
commercial.
Wow. Okay, guys, we're going to commercial to try to restore order again.
What the fuck? Are we in the ring now?
Yeah, we're in the ring.
Oh.
We just got to take care of this. Just calm down.
Don looks worried.
It's supposed to be Angle versus Christian Cage, but it's a personal issue.
Security needs to be fired. They can't
Dude,
keep
they
these guys
suck.
apart.
They suck. Oh, shit. Angle jumped off the apron.
There's like literally 7 or 8 security guys, and they cannot stop this.
Right here to the table again. Oh, coquina clutch.
Whoa! Make him tap.
Angle's able to get out.
Oh.
Jim Cornette saying, "We need more man. We need more man. Listen to me." You guys want to fight that bad? You're going to have your chance. Rubber match at Final Resolution. Whoa. An Iron Man match? Half an hour. 30-minute Iron Man match at Final Resolution. Wow. Oh, Christian's in the ring.
No. What are we doing?
Oh, he made Tomko ring the bell.
bell.
Okay, match is official. Bell ring.
No, there's no ref.
Doesn't matter. Uh-oh, German suplex. Now here comes Tomko.
Yes, it does matter. There's no referee. It's not a sanctioned match.
It is the bell ring.
No.
It's sanctioned, I think. If I'm being honest.
It's not a sanctioned wrestling match.
Oh, the lights are out.
Okay.
Is it Sting? It is.
Oh!
It's Sting!
Tag match, baby. Sting and Kurt against Cage and Tomko.
Yeah, I mean... Angle just German suplex Tomko, who almost ran into Christian as Sting was throwing him out of the ring. Yeah, I can't Sting. The Olympic gold medalist. Let's effing go. Let's go.
Let's go.
Oh, and then we got our adrenaline rush package to end it.
Adrenaline rush.
Adrenaline rush. Okay, Bob, what do you think of that show?
Okay.
First show of 2007.
All right. I'm kind of bummed that we didn't get a main event, but the brawling was fine for Joe and Kurt. I mean, I didn't hate it, I guess. It was okay.
Yeah, I liked it.
I'd go a mild thumbs up.
I can't believe what they have done to us. I did want to see the match, so I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I mean, I think it was a fine show. I'd say we are starting off 2007 hot, but there's always time to go down, as we know.
Well, yeah, of course.
That's just how it be.
Anytime you start off a year good, the only place you can go really is down.
It's true. It's a really great point, actually. Well, I am feeling pretty good about this start. I am definitely looking forward to Final Resolution once we get there. And we are just one more impact away now. We've put 2006 behind us. We'll never talk about it again in our entire life, probably.
Probably.
Yeah. And we are only here for the future. And the future is now, because it's 2007, baby.
I thought you were about to cut a Chris Sabin promo there.
Ooh. Hell, Sabin! Hell, Sabin!
Luckily, you didn't, though, so that's good. All right. Well, yeah, that wraps it up. We'll see what's going on next week for Impact. I'm sure that more matches will be announced for Final Resolution, hopefully. And then what is Gail Kim going to say to James Storm?
I know.
He gave her 7 days, and that would be January 11th. So, all right. Well, let's see what transpires next week. Until then, for Dallas Gridley, I'm Bob Colling Jr., and this has been the TNA Across the Line podcast.